The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the DataView show. This is episode number 15. I'm your host, Scott Hayes, lifetime IBM champion and IBM DB2 Gold consultant, and your voice for the IBM community. You can follow me on Twitter if you like. I'm at SR Hayes. Today we've got two really super special guests. Great guys. They're IDUG volunteers. I think anybody that volunteers their time to a nonprofit organization is pretty awesome. We're going to talk about the International DB2 Users Group today, all about IDUG. We're going to hear about conferences, content, membership opportunities, all kinds of cool things. So, Dustin, how are you today?
I'm doing well, Scott. How are you?
I'm safe at home.
Awesome. Awesome.
I got lots of bottles of wine in my wine fridges. And one thing that is available in the grocery stores is broccoli. So I'm eating a lot of broccoli. It's all good.
All right. Wine and broccoli, perfect pair.
Yeah. And Javier, how are you today?
Hi, I'm great. How are you?
I'm still good. I'm still good. And you're coming to us all the way from Prague. Is that right?
Yeah, well, I'm a weird mix. I am Mexican, but I live in Prague.
I think that's just fine, really. Anywhere that you want to call home is great. And I love the city of Prague. So thank you for your volunteer work at IDUG. Let's giddy up and move along here. We're going to get to the next slide. This is the required gibberish. The opinions expressed are that of Scott Hayes and the show guests and do not necessarily reflect that of IBM Corporation or the IBM community. DB2 is a registered trademark of IBM, which is also a registered trademark, and there's actually many more registered trademarks, and we make no claims to any marks belonging to anyone. This event is being recorded and replays will be publicly available. Please mind your manners. If you'd like to ask questions during the show, go ahead and use that Go to Webinar question and answer tool. We'll shoot your questions over to our guests. What's ahead? Well, we're going to start by learning about IDUG, and then the guys will take a break. I'm going to share with you some news bits. I've got a few polling questions. Make sure everybody in the audience is awake. We'll do some thank yous after the guys finish up their presentation. That's the flow of the show. So, all about IDUG. There they are, the handsome volunteers. Are you ready to begin, Dustin?
I am ready and waiting, Scott.
Ready and waiting. Well, I'm going to make Dustin the presenter. I click on this magic button, and you have something on your screen. Click that. We'll see your screen. There it is. Go to
right.
slideshow mode is best. There you go. You are kicking it, man.
Let's see here. Move this guy over here.
Click that little white arrow in the orange box.
There we go.
That'll minimize that beast.
There we go.
All right, man, you're on the air. Your slide looks beautiful, and you sound fantastic. Tell us about IDUG.
All right. Thank you, Scott, and thank you, Javier. Appreciate having us out today. So we are going to talk all about IDUG. Originally, we had this show reserved to talk about all about the IDUG North America 2020 conference, but we shifted gears a little bit. So we want to talk about IDUG as a generality and all of the wonderful things that IDUG offers to its community. And we will touch on the Dallas conference as well, just to talk about a current state. All right, so introduction. So that's me. I am Dustin Ratliff. I am the IDUG North America 2020 Conference Chair. I've been volunteering with IDUG since 2016 back in Austin, and have been a member of the North American CPC and have held pretty much every role within the CPC since. Javier?
And hello, everybody. My name is Javier Estrada. I am the Content Committee Chair-elect. I am actually kind of a new player into the field. I have been volunteering with IDUG for only 3 to 4 years, which is actually quite new. I really like this role, and I'm going to tell you a bit more on that later.
Awesome. All right, thanks, Javier. All right, so agenda today, we have quite the hefty agenda of topics to get through. So again, it's mainly focused all about IDUG and all the wonderful things it can offer to its community and members. So more gibberish, as Scott called it at the top, IDUG's mission statement. We are an independent, not-for-profit, user-run organization whose mission is to support and strengthen the information services community by providing high-quality education and services, specifically designed to promote effective utilization of DB2. So Scott, maybe flip over. I had a video. We can give it a shot.
All right, let's see if that video will play. I'm gonna make myself the presenter and show my screen and then sharing. Where is that little video thing? That's not it. Show screen. How about this video? It's loading. Loading at the speed of YouTube. Well, that sure was a nice video. Did it play okay for you guys?
Sounded great.
Oh, that's great. That's what we wanted to achieve. Dustin, I'm going to put you back as the presenter.
Sounds good. All right. All right, so I wanted to take some time, and again, the show was originally designated to talk all about, the North America Conference. So wanted to at least put a slide up and take some time to talk about it. I think everybody's probably heard, but if you haven't, the IDUG North America Conference has been canceled for June. The board of directors, as well as the North American CPC, are evaluating all options that we do have going forward. Even though the conference has been canceled, we are still evaluating options for 2020, whether that be an on-site thing or a digital offering. You know, there's just a lot to work through, and pretty much everything is on the table. Pretty much every option is on the table. So more details we're going to have out in the next month, and actually I'm hoping in the next few weeks. You know, as you can imagine, with the state of everything going on right now, there's just a lot of information to kind of pour over and make a decision. So if you have specific questions, of course, you're welcome to ask now or reach directly out to me, or you can email idug@idug.org. But if anybody was signed up, whether it was a speaker or an attendee, you'll definitely be getting notification from us. You would have already gotten notification from us on what we're planning on doing with the North America conference.
So you might say the conference was postponed, not necessarily.
Yes, you could use the word postponed. I'm careful about the word postponed, Scott, only because there is no guarantee that we are going to do anything in 2020. To be honest with you, the option of not doing anything in 2020 and moving on to the 2021 North America conference is one of those on the table being evaluated. So.
Okay.
So.
It could be postponed for a very long time.
Yeah, you know what? That's very true. That's very true.
Maybe we'll have 2 conferences in 2021.
We maybe that's an option as well, right?
There we go. Let's go to Prague for the North America conference.
I'm good with that. Javier could join us. I'm good with that. Yes. Absolutely. So I wanted to talk about some online IDUG online forums. We are out there pretty much wherever you stay connected. We have Facebook, Twitter. We have a YouTube channel that is very nice that we do have some presentations out there on. Our IDUG Tech channel, which we're gonna get into much more here in a bit, is a really nice place for a lot of presentations from a lot of good presenters, and many of them had been given in conferences in the past, but that is a really nice place to go for good material. And then IDUG is out on LinkedIn. So the other online forum that I'd like to talk about, and hopefully those of you who have attended a conference especially have used it, the IDUG mobile app. I did put a link here to download, and I think, Scott, are you going to make these slides available after the presentation?
As a matter of fact, Dustin, I've got my A game on today, and your presentation that you're giving now is already available as a handout for our attendees.
Awesome.
They can get it right now, and I'll also put it in the replay blog for you so people get all these links.
You do have your A game on. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. So you can click the download link there. When you get that presentation, that handout, go and download the IDUG mobile app, of course, from the App Store, Google Play, Web Planner, whatever mobile device you may be using. The mobile app itself right now is mainly used during events. It is in future state. We are targeting to use it for more of a year-round global type thing where you can get pushed content and articles and things like that. But for right now, it is mainly just used during an event. However, during the event, I definitely, if you've attended an IDUG in the past, you definitely should have had an opportunity to download it. It is a fantastic resource, right? I mean, you have everything from your sessions. You can set your personal schedule, the speakers, the bios, the venue maps. I believe this is a screenshot of the Charlotte North America conference. So there's a link in there to go all about Charlotte and famous barbecue restaurants around there. So it is definitely kind of your connection to the conference while you're on site. And as I said, it has a ton of stuff inside of it, right? It has session schedules, handout material, speakers, bios, exhibitors. You can find out more if you're looking at specific products. Local links. You can actually sign up to do moderators sign up within the mobile app, which if you've attended and you've done moderation, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Mini panel submission questions, which is fantastic. You can go right on the mobile app and come time for the LUW or the ZOS mini panel, you can submit your questions to the experts, and a ton more stuff there in the mobile app. and the future is bright, right? Again, we're kind of looking to use it as a year-round type thing. So the kind of one of the themes today, which this slide somewhat goes against, but one of the themes is IDUG is more than just conferences. However, again, that being said, IDUG obviously certainly has conferences. So I talked a little bit about Dallas and you know the temporary cancellation, I guess, as you will, of the Dallas event, but wanted to talk a little bit about events in 2020 and beyond. And I put my 3 asterisks there and my subject to change, because we all are familiar with what's going on in the world right now, and everything is absolutely fluid with these events as you know, as we go forward. The DB2 Tech Conference in Australia right now is scheduled for September 14th and 15th. That is still scheduled and on. That is a great event that's been going on for a couple of years now, and we've had some success, really good success with that event. This year it's scheduled in Canberra, and then of course in Sydney. And the Sydney event is the September 16th through the 18th.
I wish that there was confidence that those Australia events were really going to happen, because I like to buy my tickets 6 months in advance for Australia.
Yep. Yeah, no, I'm absolutely with you. It's just with the with the state of everything right now, it's everything has to be so fluid with everything going on. But I agree with you. I wish the same. Absolutely. The other one, another one of the flagship conferences of IDUG, of course, IDUG EMEA, which is scheduled for Edinburgh, Scotland, in late October. That is the flagship European conference there.
And I've been there. It's a beautiful city.
Oh, okay. I've never been to Edinburgh. I was hoping to look forward to
the beautiful historic buildings and the whiskey tastings and the bridges, famous for bridges. And,
okay.
And take the haunted tours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can learn all about the trolls and the evil things that happened years and years and years ago. It's a really cool city with a lot of history.
Okay, I've heard, and I will put the trolls. That sounds interesting. I'll have to put that on my list. Sounds good. So the 2 events, which unfortunately already has been canceled, postponed, whichever kind of verbiage you want to use. The IDUG India event, which was supposed to be in April. New dates to be announced for that, and then we've already talked about IDUG North America. So that is kind of the wrap up. So this is a page here. From idug.org, there is an events listing. There's a screenshot there. You can kind of see it. It usually tallies from the next up event going forward. Usually in a calendar year, we go from India to North America to Mexico City, Brazil, to Australia, to EMEA, and then we've been doing Data Tech Summit. And actually this year, it's not quite up and on the website yet, but I know Data Tech Summits are 2 of them being planned, one for Silicon Valley Lab and one for Toronto Lab. So one OUW based and one ZOS based. So those are still in planning, but of course, as I said, they're subject to change. The IDUG calendar of events, which is up on the website, which it spans events, but it also spans outside of IDUG conference type events. As you can see here, I took a screenshot of it. Unfortunately, the 2 SQL Adria ones are postponed, but a lot of the RUG meetings show up on here. So the calendar of events is not just for IDUG conferences and events, it's also for local RUG meetings, which I'm sure a lot of people are a part of. And we won't read this, but it is IDUG's official statement on the coronavirus, COVID-19, and this is where the subject to change part comes in, right? So all of this stuff due to the pandemic that is going on is subject to change, unfortunately. So I want to talk about premium memberships. Premium memberships is a real opportunity. For $99 a year, you get a lot of exclusive access to a lot of presentations mainly and some articles. Right now the rate is $99 a year for the premium membership. And so highlights of the premium membership. So access to technical sessions and recordings from IDUG events to be released on a regular schedule. So Javier is going to get into here a little bit more. He is the expert on the content committee as it comes to presentations and articles and things of that nature, all those wonderful things that are out on idug.org. And when you purchase a premium membership, you get much more access to all of those presentations. You get access to all of the past conference proceedings. So if you did not have an opportunity to attend a conference in the past, you purchase an IDUG premium membership and you can access a lot of that content, which you can access all that content, which is a lot of content, right? A lot of really good content. Plus, when you purchase IDUG Premium, you get up to $300 in discounts toward a conference. So that's $100 for a conference. So really, if you were thinking about going to IDUG Edinburgh later this year in EMEA, you could purchase your premium membership and it would ultimately pay for itself when you get $100 off your conference registration. So what are all the IDUG membership options? So there's 3 membership options there. There's the standard membership, which is the basic level that happens when you create an account on idug.org. And if anybody on the call here has not done so, I would definitely recommend doing so. And then the premium membership provides, as I was talking about, the access to all of the technical presentations and some additional technical articles. And then a student membership, which is a little known one, available to university students who provide their proof of enrollment. It nearly provides everything that a premium membership does. In fact, I think it does provide pretty much everything a premium membership does. So you can access all the previous conference proceedings and things like that.
Hey, Dustin, I got a
Yes, sir.
question from our good-looking audience.
All right.
When you started talking about the premium memberships, they asked, to what extent is it applicable for pandemic conditions?
Yep, so that is a great question. Additional details are being worked out and discussed with the premium membership as it pertains to COVID-19, and there will be more information available very soon. So I will take that as a takeaway and get back to you, and that information will be published on idug.org, and I can also send it kind of blast out.
Oh, and in my humble opinion, while we're all staying at home, it seems like a good time to watch videos. Stop streaming Netflix and start getting educated with some IDUG content.
Absolutely, absolutely. I completely agree with you. So here's a little chart that lays out the check boxes for premium. Premium members get the full technical articles. There's very few actually articles that standard members don't have access to, but there are a few, so we had to leave that checkbox off there. But you can see student and premium pretty much match each other. They do match each other. And the PDFs, the conference proceedings after some amount of time to previous conferences are available to premium members. After 9 months to premium, and then after 18 months actually to standard members. And when you sign up, you'll get this wonderful screen when you click on view your membership details, and congratulations, you're now a premium member. And you can see it starts right off with there's a couple of presentations right there. Starts you into, and there's also an IDUG premium content blog as well. So I'm going to talk a little bit about forums. The IDUG forums, Javier will cover more forums, and his stuff will be much more in depth and interesting than mine, to be honest. But I'll cover the 2 flagship conference forums. First of all, the North America Forum, which was really put together as a place for North America conference participants to have discussion. So imagine yourself at the actual conference itself, and you attend a wonderful presentation done by our friend Scott Hayes, and you want to talk to the IDUG community about it and say, hey, I have questions, or is anybody using this feature or function that Scott talked about? And you can post your question to this forum, and those that are at the conference can then reply, and it can start this awesome discussion about things. So that was the intention, and that is the intention. It remains. You can see there's some recent posts, and most are from 2019, but that is the last time we had a North America conference, so that is okay. A few more recent than that. And the EMEA forum is the same way. So there was some stuff from October of last year and January, February of this year. But again, same thing. As you go to EMEA, as you're going through presentations, it gives you a central place to have conversations with others who are attending the conference, or even afterwards. As you can see, these continue to be used after conferences and for follow-up questions and things like that. So I'm going to move on and talk about the DB2 portal. You can access the DB2 portal from idug.org, or there's a direct link in there. The DB2 portal has a ton of stuff on it, right? It has what's new out there. A lot of this stuff is kind of LUW based, to be honest, which is good. It has the DB2 family of products, resources. Let's dive into the portal a little bit. So what does the DB2 portal give you access to? It gives you webinars, white papers, customer stories, which was very cool. I actually saw a customer story and listened to a customer story out there, which the years that I've been around IDUG, I had never seen it before. So it was very cool. And some IBM briefings. Within the portal itself, the DB2 family of products page has information and links to products pages for the hottest of DB2 products, right? So you can link out to any of, I'm a Z person, so I refer to things in Z terminology, but if you wanted to link out on the Z side to DB2 AI, or something within the optimizer, or IDAA or something like that, all of those product pages are listed out there. And like I said, a lot of the stuff is also LUW based, so all of those product pages are out there as well. So the resource page, I'll highlight there. It has additional blog links on it. Again, Javier will talk more about some blogs coming up here. Hands-on labs. There are actually hands-on labs out there within the DB2 portal which you can take. And I know that as being a member of the conference planning committee, hands-on labs are always one of the most popular things that we do with either the EMEA conference or the North America conference. So there are many hands-on labs that are in the DB2 portal. It has product tours, much like you would get on an exhibit floor if you went to a conference itself. It has product demos, again, back to kind of that exhibit floor example that I gave. How-to videos, product roadmaps, which you would think of if you went to a conference like a spotlight session, where they're talking roadmap and trends and directions. So the roadmaps are actually published out there on the DB2 portal. And there actually is a ton more stuff out there. DB2 portal is a fantastic resource for information. I self-admitted that I didn't realize all the things that are on the DB2 portal until I started digging into it. When we switched this presentations gear, I started digging into the DB2 portal, and I was like, wow, there is a ton of stuff here. So finally, you can actually get product trials and downloads from the portal itself. Again, much like if you were on site, if you reach out and contact IBM, you can get free products and downloads. So you can actually, there in my screenshot, you can download and use a fully featured version of DB2, including compression, encryption, IBM Blue acceleration, and pure scale, as long as you would like, free of charge with no obligations, right? So those links are right out there, and you know what, all the documentation and lots of how-to videos and white papers on how to install and configure these trial products are also available in the portal. So it's a really powerful tool. All right, I'll talk a little bit about the IDUG President's blog. So this is a place for the IDUG President. Currently it is Billy. And Billy, usually the IDUG President blogs at least once a month, if not more than that. Billy usually writes an article and posts out there in the blog world once a month or so. And it is different, as we go through the year and as different conferences come and go, and different happenings in the world technology-wise come and go. Usually Billy will write about it. But the president's blog is whoever the standing president is. It's like the POTUS of IDUG, right? It is Billy's place to have his voice heard in the IDUG community. And we'll talk about the e-bulletins here in a little bit. The president's blog is also featured in many of the IDUG e-bulletins. In the IDUG blog forums, or in the blog section on idug.org, there are also other featured blogs. Some of these blogs haven't been updated in a while, but some of these blogs are probably familiar to a lot of you. I noticed Scott, your performance blog is listed out there.
It still has lots of great content in those blogs, although my privileges were revoked by DBI software, so I can't keep blogging there. I do have a new blog in the IBM community, so maybe I need to get that link over to your team. Yeah.
If you send that over, Scott, we can get you featured here. And there are lots of, as Scott said, there's lots of great material out there, and lots of stuff that is still being updated today. So that list there is pretty big, very handy. Now keep in mind again the caveat here: these are not IDUG blogs. These are, of course, the bloggers' blogs. These are not IDUG featured, or I should say IDUG affiliated blogs. All right, the IDUG Tech Channel. I had a link to the Tech Channel itself up on a previous slide when I was talking about staying connected. The Tech Channel is a place for you to view and subscribe to DB2 related webinars. So this is a place where, for example, the top one there, the DB2 and ZOS and IBM Z systems and an unbeatable combination. That was a presentation that I think was given at IDUG North America and IDUG EMEA. But frequently, IBM will send a lot of these webinars out as well, depending on what listservs or email chains you're on. But we kind of try to roll those up all into one spot, right, with the Tech Channel, and put a lot of that stuff out there into one category. So much like a lot of things, you can subscribe to that, and you can actually get push notifications and email or whatever other push notifications you want when the new content is featured out there. And there are search and filter capabilities as well. Actually, I think I show that here. Yep. So you can actually filter by technology, you can filter by platform, or you can filter by article subject, right? And of course, you can go through and search if you have, for example, DB2 version 11 is going out of support this year. If you specifically go out there and search on DB2, obviously migration planning would be a great link to click here, but also you could search on DB2 V11 or V12 and get some of the featured content there. All right, so kind of the last piece that I'll talk about here, and then Scott, we can toss it over to you for your break point, is the IDUG website redesign. So this is new news to, I think, everybody here. IDUG is actually working with a company to redesign idug.org, and in my very humble opinion, it's somewhat of an overdue process, right? Because idug.org is very nice, and there's a lot of content, and the things that are out there on idug.org are wonderful, right? And all these content and articles and webinars and all the stuff we've been talking about is fantastic. It could just be sexier, right? To be honest, and easier accessibility is what is kind of what I would love to see, and that's exactly what we're working on, right? So the whole thing is going to get a facelift here. It's going to have more of a modern communities look and feel. We're working with a third-party company and going through design planning meetings right now, actually. The goal is, like I said, to produce a better user experience and make the content more logical and easier to find. I have no reservations to say the content and things that are available behind idug.org are first class. I also have no reservations in saying that idug.org itself can be somewhat hard to find things from time to time, right? So it definitely is in need of somewhat of a facelift and a redesign, which is exactly what we're looking for or working on. And it's also going to integrate better with the mobile app and other technology platforms. So, whatever mobile device you have that you're working off of, it's going to integrate much better with that. The actual website migration is set to start in the coming weeks, actually. So we're almost through the design phase with the thing, and I think folks are really going to like it. It's really going to have a modern look and feel and make things way easier to access and way more user-friendly. One final note on the website redesign, the event pages are not scheduled to migrate. So if you go to idug.org/NA or /EMEA, those are not scheduled to migrate, but are in future plans. All right, so Scott, this is where Javier and I swap off. So if you want to take it over and do your thing, that would be great.
I'm going to be the middleman. Here we go. Let's share a little bit of community news related to the DataView show. Here's some upcoming shows. 30th of April, DB2 11.5 news and updates with DB2's chief architect, Kerry Romanova. On the 14th of May, we're going to give everyone a taste of DB2 mainframe on the show. DB2 ZOS version 9 through version 12, best developer features with the very famous and talented Tony Andrews. And Tony tells me that his presentation is also applicable to LUW, DB2 family and all, SQL being consistent across the DB2s. So, but his focus and his core competency, I think, is on ZOS. Anyways, that'll be a great show. Developer features. 21 of May, we're going to do something fun. We're going to have a show on cybersecurity. Look for that on the show homepage. And let's see, 4th of June, IBM replication data delivery in 2020. That's with Frank Fillmore of the Fillmore Group. That'll be a great show. Learn about replication. And something that's very exciting for me, I like the Internet of Things. We're going to have a presentation on Watson Internet of Things, Tririga platform and workflows. And our special guest there is an IBM champion based out of Italy. And I'm keeping in touch with him to make sure that he's still okay. So that is good. And some URLs that you may want to visit. I'm a big fan of the IBM community. If you haven't joined yet, you should. It's free, and you can network with all your friends there, read blogs, find articles, watch videos. IBM.com, USEN Marketplace, DB2 Augmented Data Explorer is a very cool tool. A graphical user interface that you can use to go explore your data that's in DB2. The IBM Think Conference is reimagined. There's a new way to think this year. I'm going to have more on that in my next slide, but it's now a virtual conference. It's online and it's free. Just visit ibm.com/think and learn more and register for free. IBM.biz DB2 Console, that's the new tool replacing Data Server Manager. You can get your copy there. IIUG.org, Informix Events and News. IDUG.org, the guys are with us today. Register early and save. I guess the early bird discount might be extended for a while. And lastly, IBM.com/cloud, Watson Studio Auto AI, a really cool tool for learning interesting things from your data. Give it a try. User Group Day at Think, May 19 and 20. So one of my friends at IBM sent me this slide to share with everybody. There's a URL there, community.ibm. It's a long URL. I'm not going to read it. What I did do is I put this slide in the handouts as a PDF. So everything I'm sharing with you right here is available for you to download right now from the handouts on the GoToWebinar tool. This is totally free and online. 6 tracks per day, 2 days, the 19th and 20th of May, roughly 96 1-hour sessions. And the platform that they're going to use is Be My App. I've seen that Be My App before. They're doing the master classes with Be My App. It's run by the IBM community team, and 10 plus user groups are participating. It's going to go from 8 to 4 each day, probably Eastern time. It doesn't say. Stuart, can you confirm or deny that that time window is Eastern time? Stuart is lurking. There it is. Yes, Eastern. That is confirmed. It is Eastern time. Participating groups on the 19th, DB2, Cognos, Automation, Data Ops, Informix, Security. Lots of sessions there. Groups on the 20th, Common Power, Maximo, Tririga, WUGS. I don't know what WUGS is, but it sounds like a drinking game. I'm sure it's going to be great. Netcool, Cloud Pak, Storage, Cloud Integration, Z, DB2Z. There'll be 4 sessions. I'm also going to let it leak that the LUW sessions, I'm going to be one of the presenters. That's exciting. I'm giving a presentation. Dave Belkey's going to give a presentation. Martin Hubel's going to give a presentation. Amber Crooks is going to give a presentation. So you've got some world famous top gold consultant type people giving presentations during this event. So make sure you're checking it out. And then there's this Blue Tech TV thing. Establish IBM as a digital content delivery leader with an IBM branded always on channel. That sounds pretty exciting because I watch like TD Ameritrade TV and they have their own TV channel, and I guess IBM is going to run a TV channel. That is pretty cool. The first broadcast, user group day, May 19 and 20. And that's hopefully that's going to be cool. Gonna check it out. 4+ weekly programming topics, ramping up monthly, and a series of community days. June 18th, public cloud. July, hybrid data management and data ops. August, cloud integration, multi-cloud. September. So I guess the world is turning virtual, and you're going to have the opportunity to tune in and watch IBM TV. That's just cool. What's next here? Ask the audience. I have a few polling questions for our good-looking audience. Let's send one of those out. Do you intend to attend IDUG in North America? Supposedly Dallas. So let's see how people respond. Yes, if you've already registered and waiting to get the news, you could be seeking approvals. Could be no. Or yes, I'm a speaker and IDUG volunteer. Those people are fairly committed to attending. Let's see what our audience says. Okay, usually let the polling questions go for 30 seconds or until 80% of the audience votes. This is your opportunity to show us that you're alive, or we have to send an ambulance to your home. Wiggle the mouse, click on a button here. Going once, going twice, closing the poll and sharing the results. 8% seeking approval, 69% saying sadly no, they do not intend to attend IDUG in North America. 23% yes, speaker or volunteer. So I think people are waiting. We have to see what unfolds here. Next question. Are you an IDUG Premier member? Possible answers here are yes or not yet. I think if you are an IDUG speaker or have been an IDUG speaker in recent years, IDUG speakers, it's another privilege or benefit of being a volunteer speaker. You get a Premier membership. At least I haven't been informed by IDUG that they've taken it away from me yet. So it's another incentive for sharing your skills and knowledge at IDUG. become a speaker, get a Premier membership. Okay, we've got a couple more seconds, going once, going twice, closing the poll, sharing the results. Dustin, here's what people said. 22% said they're already a Premier member. 78% said not yet. And I didn't give the choice of no because eventually everybody's going to want to become a Premier member. Okay.
Exactly.
Oh, yes.
And I think I have one more question. How did you hear about today's show? Did we capture your attention on the Twitter, on the LinkedIn, the DataView Show newsletter, the DataView Show homepage, IBM community? Turns out those newsletters I send out are rather popular. They catch a lot of attention. It's kind of like we got to push the show schedule right in front of you because people don't think to go and visit the dataviewshow.com, but you should because that's where you can find all of the replays. Going once, going twice, closing the polls, sharing the results. 7% Twitter, 67% our newsletter, 7% the homepage, 20% came to us from the IBM community. Okay, and that's a wrap on my polls. It's time to put you guys back on as the presenter. Dustin, that would be you, right? You're going to run the slides for Javier?
Yes, sir.
Okay, make presenter. Click that button, we'll see your screen again. Beautiful.
All right, Javier, it's your show.
Thank you. So, as I mentioned in the beginning, I belong to the IDUG content committee. I have realized that not everybody knows who we are or what we do. Now, the first big message that I would say that Dustin delivered is that IDUG is so much more than just the conferences. And when you log into the portal, the first thing you will see is that you will see a bunch of articles. That's exactly what we do. We are the guys who take care of that. So we are always looking for new content to share and new people to recruit and to get to contribute to us. So it doesn't really mean that we write each and every single article. Oh no, we want the community to do it ourselves because IDUG is made by everyone. So we always try to invite more people to make speakers share their presentations in articles or something that is quite trendy, and we are trying to push is to get war stories. So if you learn something or if you struggle with something really hard and you tried something and it didn't work, or if it actually worked, and if you learned something in the process, we especially want to hear about that. And we would especially love to have that in an article. That's something everybody can benefit from. And that's just the beginning. We have also close ties with the regional user groups. So we try to go and visit as many as we can. We go to those meetings, we go as speakers, and hopefully we also get more people to write. And of course we offer, maybe you have heard, Fun with SQL workshops. It's kind of entertainment, a very fun thing to do. So we show up with certain challenges. We split the groups and the team into several groups, and they have to solve the problem, and each team has to solve on whatever it is the previous team has done. So of course, everybody gets to have some fun. I really recommend that one. So what do we want? What are we looking for? We want, of course, even more content. And we want this content from the DB2 community, because this is something that we all make. It is for all of us. So now the question is, where do I see these blogs? And what kind of blogs do we have? If we move to the next slide, please. So we run a few blogs. The first section that you will see when you log in belongs to the main IDUG content articles. But we have many more blogs. We also have another for beginners, another one for hot topics, and yes, we also have another one in Spanish, which I run, by the way. It has both translations from the original articles in English, and it also has original content. And I am really looking forward to expand that one. Okay, so what are the things we are going to write about? So what can we expect to see in this section? If we look at the next slide, we have a table for the topics for this year. So it works like this. On a monthly basis, we have a main topic, and each and every single article we publish is try to focus on this specific topic. Now it's April, so we are going to publish a lot of content in Zoe, and here you have the list of the future topics. So we try to cover all platforms, well, LBW and Z, and most of the main topics and concerns. If you have any more suggestions, we are always open to hear that. So we are always looking to get more people involved. And there are some questions that I get almost every time I try to recruit people for this. So let's go over them very quickly. So let's go move forward to the next slide, please. Thank you. So here's the things that I usually hear. So do I need to pay to get access to these articles? No, you only need your general IDUG account. And do I need to be a speaker to have the right to actually share an article? No, not at all. Everybody is welcome. Everybody is invited, and that's exactly what we want. And if I have content that does not belong to the main topic, can I still write about it? Of course. We have several blogs, and we are always welcoming all kind of content. So what are the things that we are looking at in a most actively way? Is what I mentioned, war stories. So you have seen it all the time in the main forum that people are sharing their pain points, things that they are struggling with. Those are the kind of things we would like to see in articles. We would like to see when you learn something and you want to share it. We're especially looking for that one. And of course, everybody has a funny or a really creepy story to tell. Okay, so I also mentioned that we have involvement with the regional user groups. So if we move to the next slide, please. So this is a general map. We have presence in all these regions. So we have, of course, a lot of presence in the United States, in Canada, in the whole Europe, in India, Australia. Australia is becoming a tradition. And very recently in Brazil and Mexico. Each and every single highlighted version region in here has a regional user group, and we have contact with them. So we try to visit them, talk to them, be as speakers, promote IDUG, and promote more involvement from the community. And if I may say that I have some kind of a dream, which is actually not my dream, but I prefer to see it that way. When I heard about IDUG in Brazil the first time, the guy who told me this idea told me that he would like to see a unified front from all Latin American countries. And I would really, really like to see that. And of course, we want to see the same thing for the other regions as well. You see a big portion white for Asia, we don't want to see it that way. We want more people involved. Okay, so if you are running a user group, what's in it for you? What can you take from the IDUG site? Or how can you use the site to your advantage? So this is the list for the upcoming things that we are expecting to have for user groups. If we move to the next slide, please. So if you're a rock leader, very soon you will be able to have your own page for your user group within the IDUG main portal. So there is no need for extra work, no need for extra hosting. and it is a lot of work that we don't want you to have. So, of course, we are also trying to promote a unified access and a better distribution of your content and better promotion for your events and easier accessibility. And another thing related to that is the monthly bulletin. So on the next slide, please. So you may have noticed that every single month you get an email, a newsletter from IDUG, in which you will have notes from the president, a note from the first article of the month, some of the news and webcasts, but you may not have noticed this little TV icon. This is going to lead you to the webcast portal, and Dustin gave a really nice introduction to that one. So I really encourage you to take a look at it, and we have a lot of content. If you complain that you will be bored at this moment with this quarantine, no, you will not. We have a lot of content to keep you busy, either it is having you read or having you watch, or even the hands-on labs. I am definitely going to try the DB2 LGW installation as soon as the webcast ends, by the way, because I try to play with that one. Okay, so next slide, please. Okay, so this is what we have for the monthly bulletin. So I mainly discussed that you will get it once a month. There's a lot of content over there, a lot of links, a lot of useful resources. Please be sure to check it out. Okay, if we move forward. Thank you. So this is my favorite section, getting involved. We are always looking for people to join, and we have many teams. We have the web team, we have the conference planning committees, and we of course have one team for each and every single region. So there is one in North America, in Europe, and even in Brazil and Australia, and India, of course, the content committee as well. And of course, you can choose how you want to join. IDUG is what you make of it. Okay, so next slide, please. Thank you. So I mentioned that, okay, so I belong to the content committee. I would like to share what it is for me and what we're trying to look for. We want you to share your stories, your interests. We want to also to raise awareness of topics so that you can also use it at your site. You can also use it as an educational resource, of course. And there are a lot of opportunities just by joining. So maybe this could be your place. Or also the CPC, of course. We have a lot of things to do. We have a lot for everyone. Okay, next slide, please. Thank you. So, and in here, you can quote me on that. So joining IDUG has been the very best investment I've ever made in my career. I'm kind of new into this in DB2 years. Well, I have been working with DB2 for 13 years. DB2 5 was my first DB2. And joining IDUG totally transformed my experience. So I started getting more involved when I decided to become more serious, and I got my first certification. I wanted to validate what I knew, and this was just the best place to do it. And after a while, I found a spot in the content committee, and thanks to that, I have a lot of things to learn, a lot of things to study, and it always keeps me current. So I really encourage that. And also thanks to that, I have been an IBM champion. As far as I know, I am the only Mexican IBM champion. So that is a lot for me. And of course, one of the most important things is that out of this, now I am a presenter. I'm a speaker, and I try to take advantage of it as much as I can. So thanks to IDUG, I found a new passion. So how about you, Dustin? How would you say is your experience with IDUG?
Absolutely. Thank you, Javier. Absolutely. It's much of the same things that Javier has said, right? Volunteering with IDUG has absolutely helped out my career immensely. Between the networking as far as getting to know other users and staying within social circles and communities and getting to know the experts and things like that. Like I said, I'm a DB2 4Z person, and now when there's an extremely catastrophic issue that happens in my company, I have John Campbell on WhatsApp, right? So, I mean, the benefits that come out of getting involved and contributing to IDUG are, and that's, as I said, before in my introduction, I started with IDUG back in 2012 on the North America Conference Planning Committee. And I pretty much held every role within the CPC that there is, from marketing to the mobile app, to chair-elect, presentations team lead, and now chair. But I couldn't echo what Javier has said more, that just the community, and let's face it, you make friends, right? I mean, even outside of the technical stuff, I talk football or baseball to a lot of my friends that I've made within the IDUG community. I get to go around to the conferences and see great places in the world and talk tech with all of the experts. So the value in getting involved, and it's the more every year that passes and the more that I'm involved, the more that it makes me want to get more involved, right? Javier kind of alluded to it, that it really sparked me, right? And it really sparked my career, and it really sparked and continued my interest in DB2 and excelled from that perspective. So, wrapping up here, final slides. How do I contact IDUG? There is a contact us page on idug.org. Very simply email idug@idug.org. And there's all the other fun details, reach by phone, fax, and there is a mailing address. Covered a lot, a couple minutes over, so I apologize for that, Scott.
You're
but
forgiven.
I will, there is Javier and my email, and we'll open it up for questions or closing remarks.
That's great. I am monitoring the question queue. If anybody has any, while we wait for the questions to come in, I'll just add that I started presenting at IDUG in 1996, and I presented in North America every year since then. I was on the conference planning committee. I've written blogs, and I think I owe a great deal of my career to IDUG. And I'd encourage anybody to get involved, share what you know in some way, whether you write articles or become a presenter, volunteer to moderate, join the CPC. There's so many ways to get involved, and you will make great friends and you'll make great connections. I see no questions in the question queue. I guess you covered them all during the show. Let me put things on here, show my screen, and slideshow from the current slide. There we go. That's what I expected to see. There's no questions, so I'll ask a question. Polling question. Did you learn anything today? Always ask our audience if they learned anything. That question's going out to our very good-looking audience. We'll see how they respond. I want to thank our audience for being here, because having a show without an audience is just not much fun. So it's great that you're here and learning about all that IDUG has to offer. Thank you, Dave. No, you guys are not Dave. Dave was our previous guest. You guys are Dustin and Javier. That's okay. Thank you both. Thank you both. And thank you, sponsors, IBM Community. Go to ibm.com/community or community.ibm.com. Either way, 2 chances to win. And you're going to find show replays and show news at dataviewshow.com/news. We'll have the PDF of today's show up there along with the replay, so you can listen to all the amazing things these gentlemen had to say. Closing the poll, sharing the results. Good job today, guys. 100% of our live, good-looking audience learned something from you today. So, you covered a lot on the content and all that IDUG has to offer, and that's great. And with that, we say farewell. We say stay safe. eat your broccoli, take your vitamin D, all those things, and be well. Goodbye, Javier, and goodbye, Dustin.
Thank you for your time, Scott.
Thank you, guys. There's my music. There it is. Oh, Windows Media Player. There we go. End of the show.